Hey buddies, Moze Poker here, coming at you with another Borderlands 3 video. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can deal 42 billion damage with every single character with just one setup. It's very easy to do. You can essentially, as I said before, build this on any character, and as you saw in the beginning, literally kill Captain Trant with his buffed 42 billion HP very easily. And before I actually show you the setup, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You have no idea how much helps me out. And let's get into it.
Legendary? Whoa! No way, dude!
So first things first, the star of the show is going to be the fish slap. So the fish slap is a grenade that is able to deal melee damage. It doesn't take any bonuses from grenade damage, so there's no point in putting any bonuses like that into it. It's only going to be straight melee. So if you get a fish slap that is roided, I'm not actually sure if it actually does increase the amount of damage it does, because roided normally increases the grenade damage. But of course, some correct me in the comments below. So what I naturally went for was elemental boosted damage fish slap. Since we're targeting a 42 billion shield bar for the most part, we are of course going to use a shock fish slap. That is the essential thing that you want, a shock elemental fish slap, preferably action skill and bonus shock damage. Of course you could do an on throw, but that's my preference to be able to do it with every single character. And what's really cool about this build is that all the characters that you saw in the very beginning were just random builds that I grabbed from any of my videos in the past. Like one was all about Iron Cup, one was all about Nova Spam, and one was all about Phase Flare, and they weren't optimized in melee damage at all, but they are all still able to deal 42 billion damage very easily. Now, one of the most essential things for this is going to be a white elephant. Now, the elemental projector part is not necessary, but it will help you boost damage, as I'll show you in a few moments. The white elephant, pretty much every single time we melee someone, it's going to attach a sticky bomb. Let's see if I can't show you real quick. So I'm going to melee this guy. He got a sticky bomb and it's going to blow up with a random element. So to allow you to deal more damage with this white elephant, I would recommend trying to get at least melee damage, splash damage, or shock damage on it. Now this white elephant does have all of them. So if you want, you could just download the save file for any of the characters you want, because they will have this artifact on them. And speaking of those secondary stats, those are kind of what you want on your class mod. Now this build is a little bit more powerful than the others, only because Peregrine allows us to deal crazy amounts of damage based on some weird scaling, because the racks drop it, so you get some extra bonus that you normally wouldn't with other characters. So this is the easiest build, I would say, to kill Captain Trant with. What you want to get here is, since you can't get shock damage, what you want to get is weapon critical damage, because the sticky bomb can crit, which is very nice. And I've even seen fish slap crit when it hit the head, so you know, you could do that. Splash damage and then melee damage, those are the preferred ones I would preferably get. All the other characters didn't have these three roles. The only thing that the other characters had on their class mod were splash damage, but you know, you could have any role and still pretty much kill Captain Trant with the setup. Of course, another essential part is going to be the revolter. The revolter allows us to deal more shock damage after we activate our action skill, of course, if you have this anointment. So make sure to have the revolter. Of course, everyone should already have that, because this is one of the most meta shields in the entire game, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. One of the other essential parts in this is going to be a Guardian Angel with action skill and melee damage. Now, the Guardian Angel, as you know, deals more damage the farther you're away, so it's very easy to kill the enemy. So pretty much what I like to do for most characters is I have these two other weapons just in case we can't get the damage as high as we want. So we have the hazardous sellout to apply a dot on ourselves in case we want to activate elemental projector, which is very nice. On top of that, we also have the Z eruption in case you want to debuff the boss. I would highly recommend using the Z eruption with the sellout to proc elemental projector. The Z eruption will put a debuff on the enemy and you could spam very easily. I'll show you in a few seconds. It isn't necessary to do with Flak, but I'm going to show you the method I do with Zane. I would recommend putting the debuff from this weapon onto the boss if you're doing Zane, because I couldn't kill Captain Trant without the debuff. All the other characters I was able to kill without this debuff, but let me basically show you what you want to do no matter what build you have. It's very easy. So what you want to do is overload the actual Z eruption. So if you're on PC, you can actually go to your keyboard right over here and spam the arrow keys. I know it's kind of blurry, but pretty much what I'm going to be doing is spamming the arrow keys, because what it's going to do is basically spam the emotes. So I'm going to do that real quick for you guys here. And as I'm doing that, you'll see a bunch of orbs spawning out of me. So this allows me to get a bunch of stacks on Captain Trant very easily. Of course, otherwise you could just switch weapons to allow it to come out. That's a slower method. The easier method is to just melee every single time the orbs come out. which is the preferred method of getting the orbs out there if you're on console. Now, of course, after that, if you have a spammable action skill, what I like to do is activate any action skill that you have and then shoot yourself once with the sellout. This will allow you to put a shock debuff on yourself because the revolter applies shock damage to any weapon that you're actually using. So you can apply the extra elemental projector bonus elemental damage on any build, on any setup. I wouldn't recommend doing the elemental projector setup with the sellout on Moze. Now, once you have everything set up, you're free to just send out your racks and then a fish slap grenade, and it's going to one-shot Captain Trant very, very easily, like right there. I didn't even have to send out more than just one grenade and one wreck attack. Now I'm going to show you an example of another build that doesn't use mess up scaling to benefit our grenade damage with the wreck attacks. And we're going to move on to Amara so we can showcase a more pure version of that. So now that we're on Amara, I'm going to show you that this Amara build doesn't have any optimization in melee at all. There's no melee bonuses. Even over here, I don't have the bonus melee damage. The only thing I have is pretty much optimization in action skill damage and elemental damage, and that's it. So we're going to just go over to Captain Trant and just one-shot him very, very easily with pretty much the same setup. This build, it actually has a built-in elemental projector procer by the name of Spiritual Driver. Every single time we activate our action skill, it's going to apply the action skill element to ourselves, so we don't have to worry about switching to the sellout. And since I have that set up, I'm just going to say hi to Captain Trant over here, activate my action skill so I can activate my revolter, and then just give us some distance so we get max Guardian Angel bonuses, throw one grenade, and just like that, Captain Trant's health is almost all gone. Now, most times when I do that, it's going to actually kill Captain Trant outright. But if you want higher chances, of course, like I said with others, is going to be using the Z Eruption so you can apply the debuff to increase your chances. Now, another thing that you're going to want to get to enable the ability to actually do this build is going to be Groundbreaker. Every single time you deal non-melee damage, next melee is going to take all of that and convert it to melee damage, which is great. It only lasts for the last 5 seconds, so I could, in theory, reload, activate my action skill, let it hit Trant, and kill him with a better success rate. Of course, you don't need to do that. I've done it without having to do that, like with the clip at the beginning. The clip at the beginning for Amara didn't have the Z Eruption debuffs or hitting with the action skill, so you could do this without it. Sometimes the white elephant doesn't spawn the element that you want for the sticky grenade because the sticky bomb that spawns is a random element, so sometimes you might get something that is very, very bad against shields. So there's always a chance that when you actually do hit with the fish slap, it doesn't get you the sticky bomb that you want and you don't actually kill him, but most of the time you'll be able to kill him. So right here, I'm going to hit him with my action skill really, really quickly, and then I am going to launch my grenade over here, and it's going to one-shot him very, very easily, just like that. And the main reason why that was able to one-shot more easier, I would think, is because we had Groundbreaker procced as well to scale really, really weirdly with the white elephant. The white elephant scales based on the melee damage you deal, so the more damage you can actually deal with the grenade via Groundbreaker, the better. Now, with all the clips at the beginning, I didn't need to use Groundbreaker, so it's not necessary, but it is recommended, so yeah, I have a higher chances of success or less optimized builds for melee. Now, if you are planning on using my save file, the name for the save files for each character is going to be Flax is Oops 42 billion damage, Zane is Nova Burner OP 2.1, Moze is Optimized Fireburst, and finally Amara is Ballbuster. Sorry I didn't organize the names. I didn't feel like I wanted to rename all my builds just so I could organize them a little bit better with save files. But as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.
And the last shall be first to immerse in a pass out heat, facing him up with a moxie melt till he woke up drowning in tchotchke hell. War in a cave with a torch on a wall, then a window arrangement of porcelain dolls.